Hello everyone, I'm Elio, and today we're here to answer the ancient question: can you beat Dark Souls 3 with only scythes or reapers, whatever you want to call it? So let's put the rules very simple. 1. We can only use scythes in order to damage enemies. 2. We cannot use cheats. What do I mean by cheats? I'm talking about, those speedrunning shenanigans about teleporting to other places, doing some weird glitches. You know what I mean. 1. Because that would make the challenge fun, and 2, because I don't know how to do them. So let's begin. And we start where we always start: character creation. I take a look at the classes and I choose the knight because of its stats. We got 13 strength, 12 dexterity, 9 intelligence, and 9 faith, which will definitely come in handy in the future. I made my character, Francisca, and I choose the life ring as the Boreal glyph, and thus we began, and this is where the first exploring of this challenge begins. You see, this is an Elden Ring, so this is not an open world where I can go wherever I want right from the beginning and get the weapon I want. No, this is Dark Souls 3. It's a much more linear experience, and well, this is where our first problem begins. There is no class in the game that starts with the scythe, and the earliest scythe that we can get in the game is in the Undead Settlement, and which we need to beat 2 bosses to get in there. So basically this is where the challenge could have ended, unless we change the first rule a little bit. So instead of only using scythes to damage enemies, let's make a deal. I can only damage 2 enemies using a different weapon that isn't a scythe, so we can continue the challenge. Which are these 2 enemies? The 2 bosses that we need to defeat in order to get to the Undead Settlement. These are Ludet's Gundyr and Boar of the Boreal Valley. And so we go to Gundyr. I start to remember the game a little bit, try to get the hang of the scenes a little bit better, and we defeat him no problem, first try. We go all the way to the Firelink Shrine. We don't talk to anyone, and we go directly to the high walls of Lothric. Once in there, I skip all the enemies and get the gold pine raisin, which will come in handy for the next boss. I keep skipping all the enemies in the castle. Come on, get out of here. Come on, I don't want to harm you, bro. I actually can harm you. Okay, I skip one of the checkpoints and run past all the enemies all the way down to Boar of the Boreal Valley. Once the fight begins, I use the gold pine resin to boost my weapons and beat him easily. The strategy to beating this boss is just hitting him in the crotch and then dodging his attacks. So after beating those 2, I get the banner from the old lady, raise the banner, and finally go to the Undead Settlement. Once in there, I skip past all the enemies, grab Loretta's Bone, which we don't use. We get the Estus shards, run away as far as we can, and run past all the enemies until we get to this point, where we finally find the weapon of this challenge, the Great Scythe. As you can see, my stats are not the ones required for wielding the scythe, so we'll need to farm a few souls. Oh, and by the way, since we didn't defeat Gundyr and Boar of the Boreal Valley with the scythe, I jumped to the abyss in order to lose the 6,000 souls. I jumped again into the abyss to completely lose the souls, and now we can officially say, can you beat Dark Souls 3 with only scythes? Let's begin. We go back to high walls of Lothric and we farm a few enemies for souls. I'm not doing a lot of damage, but the fun thing about the scythes is that they have a sweet spot where if you hit them just right with the blade, you do extra damage. See? You learn something new every day. We sell some of the souls that we found and some of the ember in order to get some levels. The one soul that I didn't sell though is Boar souls. This is because we didn't beat him using the scythe, so I think it's only fair that we don't sell his soul. Now with 4,080 souls, we can officially level up. I level up my strength and my dexterity in order to wield the scythe effectively. We go to the back of the shrine and we do a little bit of gymnastics. Once we are on the roof, we can get the item that we're looking for. And we get an Estus shard. But the item that we're looking for is the Serpent Ring. This item will allow us to get more souls every time we kill enemies. I go back to the cathode, explore a little bit, and find some upgrading materials, as well as another Estus shard. Once that's done, I go back to the Undead settlement and I kill this lizard thing, which will give us one of the first upgrades for our thighs, the Sharp Gem. That being done, I run past all the enemies, open a few shortcuts. Hehehe, you fool, you fail. We found this 9. We'll score for run away, and we're finally in the row of sacrifices. Oh hi sir, can you give me a few directions on where to go? I mean, this place is quite... After that, we skip every enemy on the road of sacrifices, and we go all the way to the swamp. Now in the swamp, this is where we are going to get a lot of upgrades to our build. We start by getting the Crest Shield, which should increase our stamina recovery. Either way, we continue exploring the swamp until we get the Pharaoh Coal, which is an upgrade for the blacksmith, which will help us to imbue our weapons with the sharp effect, which should allow us to make the thighs do more damage. Once that's done, I put on a new armor that I found, the Sellsword armor, until I found the best armor in the game, the Fallen Knight armor. Unfortunately, this is one of those moments where we're being of a problem right now. We're chased by a lot of enemies, and my best idea was to stand in this ladder. Who would have said that standing on the ladder works? I get one of the checkpoints in the swamp, and this is where we're gonna get a few upgrades as well. I get another Estus shard from over there. Either way, I extinguish the last flame, and now we can, with that done, we can go up the ladder. I try to I tried to see which was the fake wall. I remember there was a fake wall around here, so I tried to hit the walls a few times. Failed miserably until I finally found it. I get the Dreamcaster Ashes, which will allow us to buy some Titanite from the old lady in the shrine. Get the checkpoint and travel back to the shrine. I give the call to Andrew and I upgrade my Estus Flask. I imbue my thighs with the Sharp Gem, and then I upgraded it with Titanite shards. With that done, I go back to the old walls of Pharaoh and we go to beat the first mini-boss in this run, the Stone Demon. We get the Stone Demon souls, which is worth 20,000 souls. I kill a few of these lizard stuff and get some large Titanite shards, which will allow me to upgrade the thighs to level 4. Sell the Stone Demon souls to the shopkeeper, level up my vigor and my dexterity. With that done, now we can officially go against our first boss in this run, the Coarse Rotted Greatwood. And let me tell you, it wasn't a hard fight at all. I think we over prepared for this fight. It was pretty easy. We just had to wait for us to hit the egg scenes that were hanging from him. I go back to the road of sacrifices, apply a little bit of gold pine to the side in order to do some extra damage, and we beat the Crystal Sage without a problem. It was actually quite an easy fight. We keep going all the way, beat a doppelganger in the process, and we go to the chapel where we should find a very interesting character for this run, which will allow us to get a better thighs. He's right. Yeah, he's not here. Interesting. I mean, there should be an old man with a red hood in this part. I don't know why he's not here. In the meantime, we grab another Estus shard and then run past all the enemies in the cemetery in order to get to the chapel. Open a shortcut to finally enter to the church.
Hello there.
Where we'll find one of the best accessories for this build, any build in the game actually. and this is the Lloyd's Sword Ring, which should allow us to increase our damage as long as we have full health. And we go back to where the giants were. I beat the 2 giants. It wasn't a real problem. It was actually a quite easy fight. We get 4,400 souls for both of them, and after that we go for our next boss, the Deacons of the Deep. And let me tell you, using a scythes in this fight is actually quite nice. Usually all these deacons will stand in front of the deacons that you have to harm in order to lower the health bar of the boss. But with the scythes you can hit multiple enemies at the same time, which makes these fights quite easy. So without a lot of problems, we beat the boss. We get the checkpoint, and we go back to the Fireling Shrine. I level up my vigor to 20, level up my dexterity to do more damage, and I level up my intelligence and faith, which we'll use for a future weapon that we'll get in the run. We sell some of the souls that we get from previous bosses to the Handmaiden, upgrade our Estus flags, and so we go back to the Keep Ruins in order to fight our next boss, the Abyss Watchers. We run past all the enemies, we open the door, but now this is a problem. This was a personal problem here, and it's that my recording stopped. You see, the Xbox only records 1 hour, so by the time I opened that door, the recording stopped, and so I did not record the Abyss Watchers fight. I know, my bad. It won't happen for the next run. Either way, I beat the Abyss Watcher off camera. My bad. But now we can go to the catacombs. We skip past all the enemies, and I remember this part completely. I may have not played the game in a while, but I know this. We wait for the ball to go all the way down.
Boom!
We keep skipping all the enemies, get another bonfire, and we try to run away from all the skeletons that we just wake up. Holy shit, this guy is an anime protagonist. Goodbye. Either way, we keep exploring until we find this peculiar goblet. We touch it and ooh. Yeah, it was a bad idea to touch it. But we found our next boss, High Lord Woolnir. This is an easy boss fight. All we have to do is destroy his jewelry and avoid all the grey mist that's his follow. The only difficult part about this fight that sometimes he just spewed some mist to us and we have to run away. But with that done, we destroy his Gucci jewelry. We run all the way outside and we are finally in the Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. We get the checkpoint. This is where this video will end because, well, otherwise the video will be way too long. So with that being done, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below what other challenges would you like me to do. Part 2 is coming real fast, so subscribe so you don't miss it. Give it a like if you enjoyed the video. And with all that being said, adios.